Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for the Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger Memorial Ranger Key set. This is released in tandem with the Gokaiger Memorial Edition Mobirates, and this set includes the Goranger through Goseiger keys and then also the AkaRed key, kind of encompassing all the main keys from the original release. Now they are doing another pack that's going to include everything post Gokaiger, meaning Go Busters through Zenkaiger, so look forward to that if you already have the classic versions of these. But we're going to be taking a look at these first aesthetically, comparing them to their previous releases, showing you what's new about them, and then in the second half / end, we will just show off their sounds in the new Mobirates. But just to talk about the general consensus on these guys, is they're basically, for the most part, 98% the same as the old ones in terms of looks. Like, I'll be doing some comparisons, but they all look relatively the same. They're not a different size. They didn't premium paint them or anything like that. They didn't remold them. The primary difference is right here, this little button, just like on the Mobirates, so you get the flip popping, which is really nice. I don't know why I just called it flip popping, but it's really nice. You know, I'm not going to show comparisons for all of them in key mode because it basically looks the same, but I really do like that. It's an improvement on the old, I meant to warn that was going to happen. It was like hell getting them ready for the thumbnail, so they're totally going to fall over throughout the review. But anyway, I was going to say, this little thing is a much improvement compared to the old one-click version that had like a giant little growth sticking out of it. So that's a really nice bit, but that's really the only difference going on here. Speaking of, let's go over the differences here. There's your classic version of the AkaRanger key, and as you can see, very minimal differences. Kind of like with the main Gokaiger keys, it just kind of reminds me of just getting a new version where it just looks shinier because I haven't owned it for so long. Now moving over to Jaka, this is the new one, this is the old one. You can see huge differences there. I'm being sarcastic. Then you got Purge Night over here, right here. Welcome to the annual Purge. Alright, now for comparison of these two, again, you're seeing the huge differences here. This is so worth it. Now over here for Sun Vulcan is one where I actually have multiple different ones, because if you didn't know, back in the day, Gokaiger released initially just like 5 packs of Red Rangers, and then they later released team packs, and as a result we got some duplicates of Red Rangers. I don't remember which one is which, to be honest, but I do remember the team pack ones had some improvements. I think the one in the middle here is the team pack one, and oddly enough, I think that's something I noticed between a couple of them, is that if this indeed is the team pack version, the second version of the deluxe Red key was an improvement, and yet they copied the original version that was like a little bit lesser. Although you can tell the difference on the helmet on this one. This is a more different helmet. It's a little bit wider of a helmet. This one has more of a thin helmet. Right here for this guy, now we're back to kind of more of the same going on here. All right. I apologize if it looks unprofessional, them falling over in the background, but it's like impossible to keep this mess up. It's like asking for a domino effect. These guys here, not really many differences to speak of. Maybe this helmet's a little bit wider, but I think that's just my imagination. Changeman here has always looked really basic to me, honestly, both versions here. Here's the Prism Rangers that got their asses beat by Astronema in the comic. And then you got Mask Man here. Again, barely any differences. And just so you know, in case you're wondering, the one on the left is always the new one. I forgot to mention that, so I'm sorry. Or in other words, on your left, here we have Live Man, my personal favorite of the old pre-Juice suits. I think it looks pretty cool. But again, the figures look the same. This one's a little bit darker, maybe. Like, it's a little bit darker tint of red, but it's nothing to be like, oh my god, this is clearly the superior light-tinted red. The original Turbo Ranger. 5-man. Jetman over here. Again, nearly identical. Alright, now here's Ranger, and as you can see, also about the same. I think this guy has a little bit more of an angular helmet. This one seems a little wider. This is definitely one that could have used an improvement. Like, the helmet's honestly one of the weakest. It reminds me of those old Micro Machines from back in the day. Now you got good old Squadron here. There's a little bit differences in the helmet. Again, this is one of those cases where I feel like I'm just looking for it. I think it might just be the angle I'm holding it. There actually isn't any differences. Is there? They're both isn't at the same time. I think there is a slight difference. I think that the gold little spikes flame or fan out a little bit more on the new one. Kaku Ranger over here. Little bit differences. The paint looks a little cleaner on the new one around the visor. I don't know if you can tell that, but it's nothing to write home about, even though I just wrote home about it formally. I do have a difference with my O-Ranger one in the fact that my O-Ranger one on the new one has a little paint mistake. Classic Hasbro mess around for a Bandai figure, but that's really the only main difference I noticed. I guess this is a little bit cleaner of a paint job, a little bit tighter of a paint job, but that could sometimes depend on the one you get. Show me the real Turbo Ranger, and this is Turbo. There's a little bit difference here. Actually, I think the old one looks a little bit better. I think the helmet looks a little bit more pronounced, or at least like the helmet details, rather. Blaze Mega Ranger. This one has a little bit of a wider helmet. The old one actually, again, I think the old one actually looks a little bit better. Actually, the paint looks a little bit cheaper around here, but in terms of proportion, it looks a little bit better. But this is also one of the weaker ones. I think this one could have used a cleanup. Alright, Gingaman here, fairly similar. Lightspeed Rescue, some slight differences in the helmets. As you can see, like everyone has like maybe a 1% difference, if that. Time Ranger, ooh, really identical there. Got a real Wes and Alex versus situation going on. Now, Goranger is another one where they had a second set. So I have 3 right here. See if you can guess which one was the updated version. Honestly, these are all very similar. I don't notice a huge difference here. It's not like the other one where there was a clear fix that happened. They all look very similar. This is a triplet-based emergency. Archanger right here, nearly the same. Ranger, we get another set with all 3 because there was another set for Ranger. Again, looking fairly identical to me. I mean, the visor on this one I think is a little bit tighter. I think these 2 are the new one and the original, and this is the remake because it's a little bit of a tighter visor. But it's also like a meta commentary on there's just too many Dino Sentais. Now, Ranger, here's an interesting one where we have 3 different ones. The ones on the either end are the original version and the new, and the middle one is the reboot version from the 5-pack, and that one actually is better because it actually has the painted number. And I find it funny that they replicated the old, worse version. And actually, the original version, I believe this is, doesn't have as good of a badge paint on the head. But you can see there's a major difference. Stick Force, Magi Ranger, also one here with 3 different ones. They're fairly close. I would say one of them has a slightly more of a streamlined visor, but not as significant as the difference or detail as the Ranger one had. Okay, Gokaiger here, back to just 2 that look fairly the same. Twins, Basil, twins! Now, Ranger does have a 3rd counterpart. They did have a Ranger key set. I have no idea where my Ranger or Go Busters keys went, so that's why they're not being used in any of these reviews so far, but these are just the original and the new one. Ranger, though, another one with a 3rd counterpart from a redone set. Let's see if you can spot. This is like those Highlights magazine scenes. See if you can spot the difference. I think the one on the far right is the new one. Honestly, it's hard to tell. They're pretty simmerable. Similar and comparable. Simmerable. Shinkenger, this was one with an update here. I could sort of tell the difference in the visors on this one. This one got a little bit of a thicker visor, and like the paint looks a little bit different, but when you have them all together there. Last for the mains, Goseiger / Megaforce, another one where they had an updated pack, but in my opinion, these were all very close together. Last but not least, we have AkaRanger here, or AkaRed here, excuse me, I always mix those 2 up, and here's his original version. Very close together. This one just looks like a shinier, newer version of the figure. All right, but now let's go ahead and take a look at all the sounds in the Mobirates, and then we will do the final verdict. All right, now for the sounds. Now starting actually with AkaRed before we start with AkaRanger. What a difference the letter N makes. Alright, now we're into the era where they copied our American Powerful Rangers. Hope the censors don't pick that one up. Accidentally grabbed Shinkenger first. Lastly, we have Goseiger. Okay, so final verdict, guys. Overall, this is a nice set, but I only really recommend it to 2 people. Just literally 2 people in the whole world. No, but 2 types of people. One, if you're getting the Mobirates from the first time with this new Memorial set and you don't have any other Ranger keys, this is a great set to get because you get the lion's share of keys and noises all in one swoop, and then you can just pick up the other set. I also can recommend it to hardcore Gokaiger fans that also got the Memorial set and they really want the flippable feature. But otherwise, honestly, it's not a must-have. Really, the only new feature is the flippable feature. And unless that's something that's really important to you, I would honestly say if you already collected the Gokaiger stuff like I did in the past, maybe skip this one, get the Memorial Mobirates, pick up the set that has the post-Gokaiger stuff, and call it a day. It is a nice set, but there's not enough improvements. I think they were just trying to literally make a reproduction of it with flippable heads, and I would have almost rather seen, not flippable heads, but flippable legs, you know what I mean? I almost would have rather seen them update the molds, and I know a lot of them are accurate to the show, but it would have been nice to see some updated, better looking molds, be like kind of a premium collector's edition, because as it stands now, really the only thing is the flippable. Again, a nice set, but not necessary for everyone if you want to save some money. The other piece of advice I could give, which is good advice for buying anything, is just maybe wait for a sale if you already have the classic Gokaiger keys. So that's about it for this one though, guys. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. It's Awesome Writer, signing out.